News 7 Tamil பொறுப்பும் பொது நலமும்.
டெல்லி வந்துள்ள ரஷ்ய அதிபர் புதின் பிரதமர் நரேந்திர மோடியை சந்தித்து பேசினார். அதனைத் தொடர்ந்து இருவரும் செய்தியாளர்களை கூட்டாக சந்தித்து வருகின்றனர். அதன் நேரடி காட்சிகளை இப்போது பார்க்கலாம்.
The strategic vision for strengthening cooperation in peaceful uses of atomic energy between the Republic of India and the Russian Federation, and the provisions for the technical data and information non-disclosure in the framework of cooperation in the field of peaceful use of nuclear energy, which will be exchanged between Mr. Sergei Kirienko, Director General Rosatom, and Dr. R.K. Sinha, Secretary, Department of Atomic Energy. We next have the MOU between Quality Council of India and the Federal Accreditation Service of the Russian Federation on technical cooperation on accreditation. This will be exchanged between Mr. Sava Shipov, the head of Federal Accreditation Service, and Mr. Adil Zainulbhai, Chairman, Quality Council of India. We next have the Memorandum of Understanding between the Indian Council of Medical Research and the Russian Foundation for Basic Research on Cooperation in Health Research. This will be exchanged between Mr. Vladislav Panchenko, Chairman, RBFR Board, and Dr. V.M. Katoch, Secretary and DG, Indian Council of Medical Research. Under commercial contracts, we now have an MOU between Tata Power and Russian Direct Investment Fund, which will be exchanged between Mr. Kirill Dmitriev, General Director RDIF, and Shri Krishna Kumar Sharma, Executive Director and CEO of Coastal Gujarat Power Limited. Next, we have an MOU between Akron of Russia and NMDC of India to implement the understanding reached to acquire a stake in a potash mine in Russia. This will be exchanged between Mr. Alexander Popov, Senior Vice President Akron, and Shri Narendra Kothari, Chairman and Managing Director NMDC. We now have an MOU between VTV of Russia and SR Group. This will be exchanged between Mr. Andrei Kostin, Chairman VTB, and Shri Sashi Ruya, Chairman SR. We next have an MOU between IDFC Infrastructure Development Finance Corporation Limited and RDIF, Russian Direct Investment Fund, on a co-investment opportunity of up to $1 billion. This will be exchanged between Mr. Kirill Dmitriev, Chairman RDIF, and Dr. Rajiv Lal, Executive Chairman IDFC. Next, we have an MOU between Oil India Limited and Zarubezhneft. This will be exchanged between Mr. S.I. Kudryashov, Director General Zarubezhneft, and Shri Sunil K. Srivastav, Chairman, Oil India Limited. Next, we have an MOU between FICCI and Delovaya Russia. This will be exchanged between Mr. Alexei Repik, President, Delovaya Russia, and Shri Siddharth Birla, President, FICCI. Next, we have an MOU between news agencies PTI and TASS. This will be exchanged between the Director General of TASS, Sergei Mikhailov, and Shri M.K. Razdan, Editor-in-Chief of PTI. The MOU between Electronics and Software Export Promotion Council of India and Skolkovo Foundation of Russia will be exchanged between Mr. Viktor Veckelsberg, President of Skolkovo Foundation, and Sri Deepak Kumar Sareen, Executive Director, ESEPCI. Finally, we have an MOU between SR and Rosneft for long-term supply of crude oil. This will be exchanged between Mr. Igor Sechin, President of Rosneft, and Sri Sashi Ria, Chairman, SR. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you.
Honorable leaders, distinguished members of both the delegations, ladies and gentlemen, and friends from the media, we will now have media statements. I request the Prime Minister of India to make his media statement.
President Putin and members of the media, it is truly a great pleasure to welcome President Putin to India. We have met twice at the opposite end of the world, in Brazil and in Australia. I am honored to host him in Delhi for the annual summit. Since the turn of the century, he has been a key architect of our partnership. President Putin and Prime Minister Vajpayee launched the annual summit process in 2000. When Prime Minister Vajpayee held the first of summits in Moscow in November 2001, I was there to sign the sister state agreement between Gujarat and Astrakhan. President Putin is a leader of a great nation with which we have a friendship of unmatched mutual confidence, trust, and goodwill. We have a strategic partnership that is incomparable in content. The steadfast support of the people of Russia for India has been there even at difficult moments in our history. It has been a pillar of strength for India's development, security, and international relations. India, too, has always stood with Russia through its own challenges. The character of global politics and international relations is changing. However, the importance of this relationship and its unique place in India's foreign policy will not change. In many ways, its significance to both countries will grow further in the future. Russia has been India's foremost defense partner through decades. My first visit outside Delhi as Prime Minister was to our new aircraft carrier, INS Vikramaditya. It sails our seas as a great symbol of our defense cooperation. Even as India's options have increased today, Russia will remain our most important defense partner. We have conducted joint exercise across all three wings of the armed forces in the last 6 months. President Putin and I discussed a broad range of new defense projects. We also discussed how to align our defense relations to India's own priorities, including Make in India. I am pleased that Russia has offered to fully manufacture in India one of its most advanced helicopters. It also includes the possibility of exports from India. It can be used for both military and civilian use. We will follow up on this quickly. I also propose that Russia should locate manufacturing facilities in India for spares and components for Russian defense equipment in India. He responded very positively to my request. Energy security is critical for India's economic development and creating jobs for our youth. Russia is also a key partner in this area. I am pleased that the first unit of the Kudankulam nuclear power plant is on stream. It has added 20% of the existing capacity for nuclear power in India. We are on course for installing the next 3 units of 1,000 megawatt each. Today, we have outlined an ambitious vision for nuclear energy of at least 10 more reactors. It will have the highest standards of safety in the world. It will also include manufacture of equipment and components in India. This also supports our Make in India policy. Russia is the world's top source for hydrocarbon resources, and India one of the world's largest importers. Yet, despite our close friendship, our collaboration in the sector has been disappointing. Today, we have made a new start with a few important agreements, but we will set an ambitious agenda for partnership in oil and natural gas. Today, we have taken a number of decisions and signed several agreements. They also reflect our shared belief that in today's world, vibrant economic relations constitute a key pillar of a strong strategic partnership. Similarly, closer contacts between people and in areas like education, culture, and tourism are important. I thank President Putin for his support for India's closer relations with Eurasian Economic Union. The International North-South Transport Corridor will connect us better. And today, we will jointly visit the World Diamond Conference. This highlights our new innovative approach to strengthening economic relations. President Putin and I agreed that this is a challenging moment in the world. Our partnership and the strong sensitivity that we have always had for each other's interests will be a source of strength to both countries. I convey my deepest condolence for the loss of lives in the terrorist attack in Chechnya. This also reflects our many shared challenges. Our areas of priority for our cooperation, including combating terrorism and extremism, advancing peace and stability in Afghanistan, working together for a stable, balanced, peaceful, and prosperous Asia-Pacific, and cooperating for development in other countries. Institutions like BRICS, East Asia Summit, and G20 have also widened our framework of engagement. This is President Putin's 11th annual summit and my first. This summit reinforced my conviction in the extraordinary value and strength of this partnership. I am confident that our bilateral cooperation and international partnership will acquire new vigor and scale new heights in the years ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you, President.
Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, friends. Prime Minister has mentioned that back in 2000 he was part of the Indian delegation to Russia. And I'd like to say that since that time we've been acquainted with Prime Minister, and I'm very pleased that we have an opportunity to continue our cooperation now that
Сегодня мы провели весьма содержательные и конструктивные переговоры по
substantive and constructive talks on the whole gamut of Indian-Russian talks. I'd like to say that we are mostly content with how this visit is being conducted and with the outcome of this visit. We have had an exchange of opinions on the key issues of both international and regional agendas. Steadily deepening our cooperation with our friends from India is indubitably Russia's foreign policy priority. Our bilateral relations have been elevated to the level of specially privileged strategic partnership, and they continue to develop dynamically. The principal dimensions for our further work with a view to cooperating. Well, all these issues have been discussed during the first half of this day, and they have been reflected in our joint statement. We intend to deepen our political dialogue, to reinforce our business and scientific and technical cooperation, as well as to promote humanitarian contacts, which for many decades have been fostered between our two countries. We have placed a particular emphasis during our meeting on the current trade and economic issues. In 2013, our bilateral trade amounted to $10 billion. We believe, and that is quite evident and obvious, this is not enough. We have talked in detail the practical measures aimed at diversifying our bilateral trade and at further increasing our investment. We have agreed to stimulate our companies to cooperate more closely and to work closely to more actively transition to using national currencies in mutual settlements. New promises and prospects for Russian and Indian cooperation will arise once on January the 1st, 2015, the Eurasian Economic Union starts to function. Prime Minister has just mentioned that we can build special relations between India and the Eurasian Economic Union, so we have agreed to continue consultations on an agreement on a free trade area. As far as the bilateral relations are concerned, we agreed to put more effort in supporting joint high-technology industrial and scientific projects. We will facilitate the establishment of an Indian operator of mobile communications. It is with interest that we regard the Indian initiative of creating an industrial corridor between Delhi and Mumbai, which provides for creating up-to-date infrastructure and establishment of innovation enterprises. Very soon, the assembly of bulldozers is going to reach its full capacity. Next year, in the state of Gujarat, where Prime Minister was born, the Cebu Holding Company will facilitate the launch of one of the world's largest plants producing butyl rubber. We, for our side, are also ready to help Indian companies participate in creating industrial parks in the territory of Russia, in the development of pharmaceuticals, the production of fertilizers and the coal. industry. We also offer our Indian partners to procure our civil aviation aircrafts, Sukhoi Superjet 100 and MS-21. As far as the peaceful use of outer space is concerned, we are willing to cooperate in the development of low-orbit spacecraft and the use of GLONASS navigation system. I'd like to say a couple of words about the energy field, which has been mentioned about Prime Minister Modi as well. It is a promising field. With the help of Russia and according to the schedule, the nuclear power plant Kudankulam has been constructed. The first unit has been commissioned. Very soon we intend to get down to construct the second series of units. Just now we have signed a very important document, the strategic vision for strengthening Russia-India cooperation in the peaceful uses of atomic energy. It outlines the plans to construct in India more than 20 nuclear power units and to cooperate in constructing nuclear power plants with third countries, according to Russian design, to work together, to mine for uranium, to produce nuclear fuel, and to handle nuclear waste. This creates the groundwork for a long-standing and truly mutually beneficial cooperation in the atomic field. I'd like to say that in this field, we have reached a new level of cooperation. This is not just about trade in services or goods, or even technologies. This is the creation of a new industrial branch. It's new for India. As far as the oil and gas industry is concerned, Rosneft and Gazprom, our largest companies, work together with their Indian partners on projects to explore the Russian Arctic shelf and to increase the supplies of LNG. Russia and India have been long cooperating in the military and technical field, and I refer not just about the supplies of ready-made products. We have reached the level of a close production cooperation. The implementation of the missile program BrahMos is a testimony to that. I'd like to say that there are other projects such as the joint development of a multifunctional jet fighter and a multi-role transport aircraft. This is another stride in our cooperation. We have accumulated good traditions in the field of humanitarian ties. Last year, 11 Russian cities saw the Festival of Indian Culture, and it was a success. This year, we're celebrating the Festival of Russian Culture in India. We have agreed to further provide all kinds of state support to social support and tourist exchanges between our citizens. We have placed a particular emphasis upon international issues. Our approaches to key global regional issues, either similar or very close. We are in favor of working together to resolve the situation in Syria and Iraq, to stabilize the state of affairs in Afghanistan. We advocate a new security and cooperation architecture in Asia. We are willing to continue to coordinate closely our work within the United Nations, within BRICS, the RIC, and the SCO. Active work in these formats is very important amid the difficult conditions the world is witnessing. Apart from talks with Prime Minister Modi, my program of stay in India includes other important events. There is the meeting with the President of the Republic of India. There is also the meeting with the head of the Indian National Congress Party. Apart from that, together with Prime Minister of India, we're going to have a discussion with the representatives of the Russian and Indian business circles. We're also going to participate in the inauguration of the World Diamond Conference. Prime Minister Modi has also said that this is another important area of cooperation, because the Alrosa company from Russia is today's world's largest miner of diamonds, and India is the world's leader in processing diamonds. This visit is going to give an impetus to further strengthening the multifaceted relations between our two countries. Certainly, there are issues we have been dealing with for a very long time as far as the security of our countries is concerned. I refer in particular to fighting organized crime, to fighting terrorism, to fighting drug trafficking. I'd like to say in conclusion that we are highly appreciative of the friendship, trust, and mutual understanding with India. We're going to do everything in our power to develop the Russian-Indian partnership for the sake of our two great nations. I am grateful to Prime Minister, to all Indian colleagues, for all our Indian friends, for the traditionally cordial welcome and for your hospitality. Thank you very much.
With that, we come to the end of this event. A joint statement, Druzhba Dosti, a vision for strengthening the Indian-Russian partnership over the next decade, is being circulated. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.